What is up, you guys? SSB Peridot here, and oh my god, this has got to be the greatest Goodwill find I've ever had. I figured I'd just make a separate video than my July video because honestly, there's just too much for me to go over. It was just a very, very crazy day at Goodwill. So the story goes down as this. I walk into Goodwill and I immediately see those NES games that you guys saw the footage of. There was 19 of them for $70, which is honestly a really good deal, but I didn't know what any of the games were, and I honestly don't have that kind of budget at the moment, so I figured I'd just wait around, see if I could get a few of the games instead, just separate. So as I'm waiting around, he brings out just this massive tub of Nintendo 64 stuff. There was a system, there was all the hookups, like I think 2 controllers, a transfer pack with I think there was Pokemon Blue in there, and like 15, 20 games. Some really decent titles in there. But again, he had that priced at $150, which is, again, a really fair price, but I don't have that kind of money. So I just asked him, like, hey, is there any possible way I could separate a few of the games from the NES bundle and the N64 bundle? And he said, sure. I basically told him that I'm not a reseller, I'm someone who actively looks for games to add to my collection and not to sell. So he was like, yeah, okay, no worries. So I was just like, I'll let you keep all the Mario games in there so that way it can sell really easily. So what I did was I basically looked through everything and I picked out 3 N64 games. I honestly don't think I looked over everything as well as I should have. I might have surpassed a game that might have been worth more than what I thought it'd be. The Nintendo 64 bundle had quite a bit of sports games, but there were some really decent titles in there that I left because, again, I wasn't looking to resell any of it. I was looking strictly to find games to add to the collection. And then I looked through the NES bundle, and there was some really A-plus titles in there. So I left, I believe, Mario Bros. 2 and 3 and Punch-Out. Not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. If it was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I would have bought it, but I just left Punch-Out there because, I figured, they could have a few games to just keep and, advertise and sell. And I'm pretty sure they sold within, like, 10, 20 minutes of me, being done with that. So I picked out 9 games, 6 NES games, and 3 Nintendo 64 games. And I was just like, how much do you want for all these? And he said originally $7 a game, and I'm like, I can't really do that. Would you do $50 for all of them? And he said, that's fine by me. So everything I'm gonna show you guys, I got for $50, which is honestly crazy. So first off, let's just go ahead and start with the N64 games. We got 3 of them, like I said. We have Monster Truck Madness 64, a Rockstar title, which is why I picked it up. And also a Microsoft title. I didn't know they were making games back in the N64 era. I thought they were strictly, they only made games when they came out with the Xbox. So that's cool. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Apparently owned this as a kid, but excited to add this back. I found the PlayStation 1 game twice out in the wild, but never the N64 version, which is why I picked it up. And then definitely the best game out of the bunch, like a $20 game, we got Road Rash 64. Really happy to find that. Yeah, like I said, a lot of them were sports titles and Mario titles that I already owned. This was the best game that I did not own, at least that I'm aware of. There probably was something in there that might have been worth a little bit of money, but I just overlooked it. I know for a fact there was no Conker's Bad Fur Day in there, though, so that's a good thing. And then the NES titles. We have some really good ones. All these I'm going to be adding to the collection because, honestly, as you guys, I think you guys can see this, but I didn't really have a decent NES collection until yesterday. So let me just show everything off to you guys real quick. First up, we have DuckTales. The top of the label, unfortunately, is peeling a little bit, so that kind of sucks. But honestly, it's probably the worst condition label out of all of them. The rest of them are pretty decent shape. All right, up next we have Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Really nice shape right here. Then we have a black box game. I picked up 3 black box games. I'm going to show you guys the other 2 in a sec. Popeye, the original arcade classic. Again, in really nice shape. I'm going to stop saying nice shape because you guys know, they're in pretty good shape. And then the 3 best ones, definitely really excited to add these all. Donkey Kong Jr., the arcade game. A little bit of Sharpie writing right there, but nothing a little Magic Eraser can't fix. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. Really, really happy to add this. This is a $20 game right here, all day. They had the first and second one there, but since I already own them, I figured I'd leave them behind. I can't remember what else they had. I remember Wheel of Fortune, because that was in the footage that you guys saw. Wheel of Fortune, Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3, Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, Punch Out, and I think that's all I can remember. There might have been a game again. I didn't look over these too well. But finally, we have Donkey Kong, the original arcade classic. This is a really nice game to add. This is like a $30, $40 game right here. So I'm super pumped to add this to the collection. And for the price I paid for all of them, $50. Donkey Kong and I'd say Road Rash make up for that. Easy. And then also sitting in the glass case was for $5, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Really happy to add this to the collection. It's like a $15 game right here. So we got that. I do remember that they had the Gold Cart Legend of Zelda out, but the guy was asking retail for it. For some reason, that was the only game he decided to look up on eBay. I don't know why he didn't look up all the other games. I really don't know. But that is not the end of it, guys. I didn't film myself getting any of this because honestly, it was just kind of too crazy to believe for me, and it wasn't, it was one of those things where it was in the moment and I had to get out of there as soon as possible. As I was paying for all of this stuff, I noticed that because he went in the back to reprice everything, because, I took out a few games. He ended up coming back out with, like, the games I didn't buy for, like, $50, the NES games, and, like, the N64 bundle for $120, which, honestly, if I would have had the money, I would have taken those in a heartbeat. He also brought out something else. He brought out 9 Super Nintendo games. And as you guys know, I go batshit crazy for the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo is the thing I love collecting for the most. So he brought out 9 games for a really great price. I did not even bother picking out games that I didn't already own. I figured, a couple of the games that I already own, I'd just sell and make my money back because holy shit, guys, what I found was just crazy. We have 9 games total. First off, I'm going to show you guys the 3 that I am going to be selling. We have Donkey Kong Country, and as you guys can see right there, I paid $55 for 9 games. And you guys will see that these other 2 games that I already own are going to make up for it. But this Donkey Kong is in really, really great shape. It surpasses the one I own, even though the one I own is in good shape. This is like mint, so I'll be swapping that out with the game I already own. Bookman's was charging $15 for this back in 2006, if you guys can tell, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Then up next we have Super Mario World. Can't go wrong with this. I swear to God, you see this all the time. This is probably the most common Super Nintendo game ever, but it still goes for like $15-20. And then finally, definitely the best game that I already own, Super Mario Kart. I don't know if you guys can tell, but on the label there's a little bit of Sharpie on it. Why the hell would you write Sharpie on the label and not the actual card itself? It just kind of amazes me that someone would do that. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I can still get $25 or $30 for this. Now let's move on to the games that I'm going to be keeping. There are some A-plus titles in here, and once you see one of the games, you will understand why I didn't hesitate the price. But first up, we have Primal Rage. I cleaned up some of these. They were all pretty dirty, to be honest. Along with the Nintendo games, they were all pretty kind of gross. But I cleaned them up. The ones that still have the Goodwill stickers on them, I haven't gotten around to cleaning. But up next we have Killer Instinct. You can tell Bookman's charged $10 for that back in '06. About what it goes for nowadays. But happy to add this to the collection. I've always wanted to play this. I'm not a huge fan of fighting games, but this always looked interesting to me. Mainly because of the black cart, I guess you could say. Black cart looks really cool to add on the shelf. Then up next we have Team. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there was phone number on there. Hopefully it didn't show up, but I don't know why you'd write your phone number on a game and then donate it to Goodwill. That just kind of seems stupid. But this is a really nice game to add. If it'd been on the original Nintendo, this would have been like a $150 game. But it's still like a $15, $20 game on the Super Nintendo. So happy to get that. And then up next we have the 3 beautiful gems of the lot. Really, really happy to add these 3 to the collection. First up, we've got Earthworm Jim. A really nice, clean copy of that. So super, super pumped to add that to the collection. And then a copy of Doom. Really, really nice. There's a little bit of Sharpie on it. Bookman's was charging $8 for that back in '06, so that would have been a really good price. And there's also a Game Exchange sticker on here, so they had that priced at $20. So I don't know if that was before they gave it to Bookman's or after. But nonetheless, I'm never going to be able to get the Game Exchange sticker off, but honestly, I think it's kind of cool to have, considering it's like kind of a relic of the past, I guess you could say. But then, definitely the winner of this lot. When I saw this game, my heart just dropped. Really, really happy to find this. TMNT 4 Turtles in Time. They honestly had a ton of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games for the Super Nintendo and original Nintendo. And I honestly, even though I, kind of expected it when I saw the lot, I was still blown away when I saw this. And for the price, $55. I honestly, in the past they've charged like $10 a game. So I don't know what kind of heart change they had in the back to only price these at like roughly $5 or $6 a piece. But I'm not complaining because holy shit, this game right here is worth it. Super, super excited to play this. But yeah, that is it. Like I said, this is going to be a completely separate video from my July Goodwill finds, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'll just upload this, I guess, as like Goodwill finds episode 6.5. But that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video too, because this was just crazy, crazy good luck I had here. And it shows that this stuff is still out there. Sometimes people are always saying, oh, Goodwill, they either overprice their stuff to eBay, or they just never get anything in. But obviously, you just have to be there when they're restocking. That, like I said, I was there when he was bringing everything out. So, you just have to be there at the right time. You have to know when they're restocking. You have to get nice with the people, too. Because, I'm friendly with the people at Goodwill. I talk to them. I'm like, hey, this is a fun game. I remember this, yada, yada, I'm friendly, And if you're a dick about it, they probably won't, do anything. If you'll be like, oh my god, $70? You guys are crazy. It's just, come on. But yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.